really unlucky with this. I should have actually let him drop his forces. So I'm going to lose this expansion. And I don't really know why I did this. I decided it was best for me to push out. Oh yeah, I threw down some cannons here. In hindsight, I don't think this is the greatest play. I didn't realize he was only on one base. I thought I was going to be able to come down here and snipe this out real quick. But unfortunately, that was not the case, because he doesn't have an expansion, and naturally what he did is he lifted up and he finished that base, and now he's going to come attack this one. I don't really know... Oh, he's going to come drop in this side, I'm sure. Always smart to drop a scan like that so you know what's happening. I don't know where he's probably going to come around here and drop here. But anyway, as you can see, I'm moving up the ramp because I know that he's forces out of his base. I can come in and essentially take him out, and with all these immortals I can do way more damage than he can do because he doesn't have that strong of a marauder force. So anyway, we're fighting two battles right now. I'm pretty much in his base destroying it, and he's pretty much in my base destroying my army. I have one Colossus that I've just now started. Now this is really important. When you know you're in a base trade situation, get your probes out. And you can see that's the difference between what I'm doing and what he's doing. He's not getting his well, he's trying to get his workers out, but they're trapped. And if they were to move out, I would focus them down first. And I realized that we are now in a 100% base race. I canceled the extended thermal lance because I was pretty certain that the Robo-Bay would go down before I actually managed to finish it, and I think I was right about that. I would like to see myself chrono boosting out this Colossus. At this point, I'm just getting this Colossus out to try and run it away while I take out the rest of his base, or not take out the rest of his base because I'm a failure. So right now, I'm feeling really worried because this is a bad situation to be in. A more mobile Terran army destroying my base. The only advantage I have over him is that he's only got 5 workers. He does have a lot of money, and I've taken out all his supply and stuff, and he's taken out most of my base, and I'm sure he will continue working on this part of the base. But yeah, my only advantage is that I have a lot of probes. I think I have full or more than full saturation here at this base once it's done, and that's really going to help me later once I get my stuff up. But as for right now, his army can decimate me, and I really have no way of defending against this because I don't have enough air to kill the dropships. I sent some zealots. I guess my purpose for sending these zealots was knowing that he was here and his army was still killing my base. I could come and take out his workers, which is always really useful. And then losing those 3 zealots for this army isn't that important because the real only way that I'm going to lose is if he drops on my army, and it's mostly going to revolve around how many dropships I can kill. If I kill 1, it'll be an even fight. If I kill 2, I probably have a chance. So right now I'm just preparing for that drop, and I'm throwing down a forge immediately. I realize my food is 72/26. I have no chance of reinforcing units anytime soon. I have to drop way too many pylons for that, so I know my only way of bolstering my army right now is to throw down cannons. So I'm preparing to do that by throwing down pylons in the crucial areas. I should be throwing down a pylon here, and a pylon here, and just putting cannons pretty much all around my base. Because right now, the most important thing for me to do is just to survive. Because every moment that I'm mining a full base, and he isn't, I am closer to bringing the advantage back in my favor. I should have an observer somewhere around the map. Okay, here it is right here. What I really need to be doing right now, and this is a pretty big blunder on my part, is is using that observer actively to manage this entrance here, or this air pathway, because he can pick up, like he's doing right now, and drop at will anywhere in my base, and I realize that, and so I move my forces here, but I still have a really weak number of anti-air units. So my only hope is really to get my forces in position anywhere he's going to drop, which is exactly what I'm doing right here. Because if those forces get down on the ground and they're not going one at a time like they do, then I can't deal with this army because it's just a little too strong. It's pretty close, but I think it's just a bit too strong. Because those Marauders and tank can just focus fire the Colossus, and then the remaining forces, I guess there aren't that many Marines, but this many Marines can take out 3 Immortals probably fairly easily. And so now I'm leaving the observer on top of the medevacs because I really don't want to lose any of that. And this is a really cool idea that he's done here. He had an extra expansion because he was building it when he got attacked. And what better way to use it, or maybe he just built it because he had extra money. What better way to use it than land it here, since he's already low on SCVs. He can really afford to only mine 3 patches and from a slight distance disadvantage because you'll still be mining more money. So I've only now just got my Cybernetics core in, and I'm going to immediately warp in some Stalkers and maybe even a Sentry because I have so much gas. Because right now my biggest concern is those drops. As you can see, his food is at 50 and mine is at 80. So I'd say right now I'm out of the woods, and if 20 were to have attacked earlier, I would have been in a lot of trouble if he managed to get a drop down effectively. But as it were, he did not do that, and I'm now back up to 4 gates on 1 base. Although, interestingly enough, since I took his main because it was the safest base at the time, I'm actually running out of minerals. So this is something that I didn't think about at the time. I thought to myself, surely I'm not going to mine out his base as well as my own. And so I've already started with the expansion here.
Greg.
And I hate you, Karn. You're completely ruining my my stream. I'm going to move channels real quick. Back to the game real quick. Alright. So, at this point, I think we're just both really scared to attack. Because I know if I lose my army to like a cliff advantage, then I'll lose. And he knows if he loses his army to a cliff advantage, he will lose. So it's like an even more tentative position than we were in at the very beginning of the game. I really don't like him getting this gas here. He doesn't really need it at the moment, and any minerals he could get would be good. He really needs to get the orbital command here and here and start dropping mules here and here. And also he needs to check this and make sure that these probes aren't, or these workers aren't doing this. Once they start doing that, pull the ones that are here over here, and also send a couple marauders to take this out. That way you can take the full high yield. You could even transfer all of these guys to the high yield so you can actually make the most money possible. But as it is, I'm actually starting now to get Templar. I just mined out this base, but I'm already over here throwing down extra gas. So I'm on 1 base with 2 gases. Really should be chrono boosting some things out, especially when you're in a situation where you base trade and you have a lot of money built up, or you just have not the optimal economy. Wow, I'm starting the Psy Storm right now, even though I've already got a bunch of Templar down. I've been doing that more and more. I think that against Terran, in lots of situations that get weird like this, just having Templar with feedback is so good. Because most of the units that Terran moves to in a situation like this are the energy units. When you're on slow bases, or like small bases, and a restart of the game, the units that you think are going to win for you are the ones that give you that extra edge. The mobility, or like auto turret, harassment, point defense drone, the medevacs obviously healing, but also Banshees are the unit that I think about most whenever I'm in a situation like this. I've won so many games where my opponent takes out my base, I lift off my buildings, I land them on like cliffs that are unreachable, and I just build Banshees, and then I end up winning because my opponent isn't ready for it and I can take out his economy. And it's one of those things that is really strong when you go to it after something like this happens. So my thinking was, alright, well, I'll get a High Templar, I'll get some High Templar, I'll get Storm, but I won't worry about getting Storm so fast. Okay. So he is now dropping over here. It's like perfect timing on his part. He managed to do that. But I think it's a little too late. I have a very strong army. I have 1 Colossus, which is actually going to do a great job of drawing the fire while my storms go down. And I think I'm about to storm and maybe even feedback. Yeah, the feedback right there just completely killed all the units in that medevac. And so there goes his army. He really doesn't have any way of reinforcing it. And now I'm warping in units here. I'm going to be moving down. I know there's a planetary fortress here because I scouted with those zealots, so I'm probably just going to skip it. At a late stage like this, killing the player's money isn't as important as just killing all their units and all the buildings that can fly around and be annoying. I should be throwing down a Stargate in anticipation of that, but it's not too important. I also should be expanding, but it's one of those things that you're going to win a game at a certain point, so you stop really playing all that seriously. Although, if I was playing a more important or a more intense game, anytime you get an advantage like that, you should always throw down an expansion. So throwing down the proxy pylon so that I can move my army and warp it in wherever I want to be. At this point, these Templar are going to be relatively worthless, seeing as he doesn't have that many forces. But Templar are great just because you can storm and then morph them into Archons, and it's so much more effective and just manageable in StarCraft 2. Pretty sure in StarCraft 1, if you hit the Archon button and you had like 10 Templar selected, it would just like morph all of them. Although, don't quote me on that. And that's not very good because you want to have some Templar, left. But I'm pretty sure if you hit C, which is the Archon morph, as soon as you hit it, the two lowest energy Templar join together. And so you can just hit C to make Templar as you realize that your Templar are running out of energy, and not really ever waste the extra energy that the ones with the storm saved up would have. So anyway, that was a pretty long game. Bad Tomies are also known as 20, just GD'd out of it. We're going to be going right into the second map.